Hello, my name is Jack Carlson, more known as Big Planes on YouTube, and this here is a very big plane. This is a 747 passenger plane dash 100. It was really one of the first 747s off the line. It was operated by Pan American Airlines, or Pan Am. They were the original operators of the 747. They were one of the key reasons why the 747 was made. And this thing is pushing the limits, again, of what a plane could be in width because of how heavy it is and how much structural just support it needs on the inside. And I would say the most difficult parts of this plane were definitely supporting wings, supporting the fuselage, and supporting the landing gear, which do need to retract for transport. So the wing is all supported by central wing box. It does use a Technic system, and the wings do hold themselves up pretty well. The engines are decently far off the ground, and it was very difficult to do because the wings, there's a spar that comes out right here, and that does interfere a bit with the flaps. It also needed flap tracks on the insides of the wings in order to operate correctly. So I had to work around the flaps, which is a little difficult, but easy enough. And the landing gear down there towards the bottom, which you can't really see from this angle, was also challenging because I had to place it right here so it could support the wings, but also go directly into the point where the plane was the strongest, which is the central wing box. So that was definitely something that was very challenging with this plane. And there goes that. I broke a lot of pieces when building the landing gear, and that was fun because I went through about 10 of those Technic pieces. It has the axle that goes through it. It snapped quite a few of those.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it has a set of landing gear on the fuselage and one on each wing. So there's, I believe, 16 in total on the plane, including the two nose gear up towards the front. And that was something that was fun, I'll just say, to do, but it does work pretty well. It can take a fair bit of abuse now, and I have found a way to distribute the weight better on the wing landing gear so they can take a little more abuse than they did before. And yeah, it's more convention ready. The plane also has a full interior, which kind of gave us troubles with the structural integrity of the fuselage because it may have wanted to droop quite a bit due to a full interior. So I'm going to sort of take the roof off so you can see that in here.
Is this the first time you've included an interior on one of your planes?
Yeah, for a passenger plane, this is the first time there's been a full interior on it. So the roof comes off in one piece, set down over here, and that's the main economy section. And back there, if I can reach back here, see if I can get all the way back here, the tail section can come off as one piece as well. We've got some more detailed stuff. Then, of course, all the way up here at the front, we have this, which can show us the cockpit. Sorry to let you guys get over there. See cockpit. There's a couple of pilots there. I know one's from World War II, but it was a standby pilot, right? You have to have time ready. Sure, I'll leave that off for now. And the upper lounge, this is what made this plane so special at its time because it was big. It was the first wide-body aircraft. It has two aisles here that run down the center compared to the normal planes of the time, like the 707 or probably like 727 or DC-8 or such. They had a single aisle, and I'd break it off the seats. And they wanted a plane that was larger. So originally they wanted a double-decker design, but they ended up going with a larger fuselage or twin aisle design. But what this plane did have up here towards the front was its iconic hump, since this is a 747. And the reason they went with this hump was because originally this was going to be a freighter aircraft because it was going to be replaced supposedly by the supersonic transports of the time. So the hump was there so they could hinge the nose upward to be able to get access to it, so the pilots could be up here. So that's why the hump was there and the origin of the hump. But then when they realized that this was the plane that they needed because the SLS, or not the SLS, the supersonic transport aircraft wouldn't work, they then sold these planes to many airlines. And this right here is the upper lounge. I'm going to try to disconnect it here for a minute here.
Yeah.
As you can see, it is connected on both sides. And this does have some decals on it, the Pan Am, to let you know it's Pan Am.
Is that all custom stickering then, the decals?
Yeah, a lot of custom stickers. I could never seem to get them right, but I did find some clear sticker paper this time. Gotta get the bubbles there. They kind of help you get the decals on there.
Yeah.
But I also used some techniques to get the windows. Some of these models had all windows here, but this is a 100, so it would only have 3 windows here. And in here we have the upper lounge area, which has a lot of orange in it. And right here, this is a drink cart. Got some stuff up there, maybe a little cake and some champagne and wine, coffee. Yeah. up here, and got a croissant and some couches up there. This is definitely something that gave this plane a little bit more of a unique flavor because it had a lounge in it. Nothing at the time really did, and you could go up the staircase, which I will show you here in a minute, so we'll put this down over here. And then this section right here, I'm going to have to move some stuff out of the way here. This whole section here can be removed and set down over here, which reveals some more stuff up here towards the front of the aircraft. And what made this plane really special for the time was it had a spiral staircase right here that would lead up to the lounge, and getting that was sort of interesting. I used a flex tube and a bunch of those clips with tiles on it, and it actually worked out really well to get a spiral staircase. That was something that I had a lot of fun with. And then up here towards the front, we have the first class seats, which are different color to indicate that they're probably made out of a better material, and they're much more spread apart. And of course up here we have some that are much nicer. May not have been the exact configuration, but mostly the first class would sit up here, and their lounge would be up in the upper section, because that's really what they wanted to do. Very nice first class seats in this plane. Most of the plane is economy, but there is some other detail in the center of the aircraft because this plane was much larger than most others. We have 2 lavatories here, restrooms. They're a little larger. The first class would probably have used these restrooms. We also have a galley up here that would have been used for serving the first class folks. And there is I believe there's a cream pie there, but I can't see it right now. We have a carrot holder and a faucet right there. Each one of these doors does function, and it does open. All the bathroom doors do open, or lavatory doors do open completely, so you can get full access to the inside. That was a key feature that I did like to have. And the doors here all do function correctly. There are 10 of them on this aircraft. So this one here is an example. It would just slide right in like this and fold right in. And they all do that. They all function basically the same way. And when I originally put this on the YouTube, I had them opening this way. And a lot of people said that was backwards. So I did recently go and fix them. Now they open the correct way, which is forward. And a lot of times they would open this way. Try to open like that up there. There it goes. But yeah, so this is something that I did like to include on this plane, functioning doors. And there are 10 of them on this aircraft. It's quite a large plane, so it's something that was a key feature I really wanted to include. This one does have a 2-3-2 seat configuration. There are 2 seats here, 3 seats here, 2 seats there. On the real aircraft, it would have been 3-4-3, or in some aircraft nowadays on the same aircraft, they would have 3-5-3. And I had to do 2-3-2 due to Lego scale because Lego figures are a little larger than most figures.
You like to give your minifigs a little space to spread out a little bit in the plane.
Yeah, for sure. And all of them will fit in here. You will be able to fit minifigures in every single seat on this aircraft. They're going to be cramped, but they will fit. That's just exactly how they were on the real plane. You can obviously fit more of them up here towards the front. That's something that the first class do get over the rest of the plane, but I'm pretty happy with that. And this plane is very large, as I mentioned earlier. It's about 6 feet long, very long, and about 5.5 feet wide. And supporting something that large can be quite challenging. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And further back up here, this is main economy stuff up here. There will be separated a little bit by entrances and galleys and lavatories, but right here, you can see that there are 4 more lavatories right here. Like in the first class area, they all do open and have functioning doors that do work. And there is a little cheese slope in there to represent a toilet. Again, very cramped space, so it's kind of hard to get the detailing in there perfectly. But that was something I did want to include on this plane since it is quite a large plane. And if we move a little bit further back, we can see that there are some more economy seats. And then back here, you can see that this is the main galley area. And in this container right here, there is an apple, because why not, right? And we have some equipment stored on the walls and stuff, some sinks. And this is something that I did want to include in this plane because a lot of times when people build large Lego planes, they don't include an interior at all because it's so hard to support a plane this large. So that's something that I really did want to include. And in the very back, more lavatories, like up here in the front, basically 4 more that would have been kind of cramped, but they're in the back of the aircraft. Again, 4 more doors, so they would have had access to them. So yeah, it's the main part of this plane. It does have fully functioning flaps on this aircraft, and I'm going to try to do it for you here. They did get beat up quite a bit on transport, so I'm not sure if this will work completely as it's supposed to, but they are trifold flaps. So this one here would fold up like this. This next flap here, like I said, I'm not sure how these did during transport, would fold up like that. and then fold into the body like this, and the whole thing would fold in like that. So it does remain flush with the aircraft, and that was definitely a feature that was very important. It took a long time to design something that would fold up and actually slide into it, and a lot had to be done. And these are remained in the down position because they're quite. Takes a while to fold them up because you gotta make sure the flap tracks are up. And oh yeah, on the flap tracks on the very bottom of the aircraft, these can also be raised just like they would. These are just for show on this aircraft as I break them. These are mostly for show on this aircraft, but they on the real aircraft, the flap mechanisms would have been stored in these flap tracks, and that's how they would have lowered and raised. And on my model, again, they're just there for show, but they do give it more of the aircraft look that this thing should have. Again, the trifold flaps, incredibly complicated pieces of this plane. A lot of newer model planes don't have the complete trifold flaps, but this plane did, and that's something that is very recognizable about the 747 and that I really wanted to capture on this plane.
Yeah, well, that's a great build. Thanks for the explanation of how it all came together. It's fascinating to see kind of your process there and how you were able to include so many details. So I'm glad you were able to bring this giant thing out to the show here, and thanks so much for chatting with me about it. Appreciate it.